Welcome back to another Liverpool match review. We are going to be reviewing Liverpool versus Luton Town, and what a match. This is one of those matches where it's do or die. These are ones that you have to win. If you're looking to be title contenders and compete for the title like we are. And you always look back on these games that potentially you could drop points on against sides that you should beat. And you say, man, if only right? If only we got a result against Luton or Brighton or Brentford or a lot of these lower table teams that probably don't have the quality that your team has, but they're tough, they're well coached, they're regimented. These are the games that will trip you up, right? As you can see, I believe Luton actually got a result against Manchester City at home. When I saw that first goal go in, I got a little bit worried. I'll be honest. And I predicted a 3-1 scoreline. Ended up being a 4-1 scoreline. But I knew they were going to be here for a fight. I knew Ross Barkley was going to perform. I knew they were going to be well drilled. I knew they were going to be really good defensively. And they were exactly that. But Luton, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. A lot of the playing out of the back ended up coming and biting them in the butt, right? I think there were some times if they just lumped that ball forward, the game would have been a lot closer than it was. But thankfully for Liverpool, that wasn't the case, and they turned it around in that second half, right? To go from 1-0 down to end the game on 4-1 down says a lot about the mentality of the players, right? It says a lot about the coaching of the players. It says a lot about where these players are at physically and mentally. They're ready to win a championship. Players that we were begging, like, we need you to step up. We need you to do better. We need you to improve. We need to prove. We need you to show us and prove to us that you deserve to wear that Liverpool jersey. And I think they did that this game. Harvey Elliot was a big standout for me, where I was a little worried about Harvey in the very beginning stages of, like, does he have enough to really cut it at Liverpool? And today he showed his quality. There were even some times in the game where I was screaming at him, but he proved me wrong mid-game. Phenomenal finish. You could see how much this means to him being a part of this squad. Childhood Liverpool fan, and long may it continue for young Harvey Elliott. And I just want to see him grow and continue to develop in the Liverpool shirt, right? But you get a feeling that it's inevitable. You get a feeling that what we think may happen will end up happening. Liverpool winning some sort of title this season, whether it's a Premier League, whether it's a Carabao Cup, a League Cup, FA Cup, which we're all still in, Europa League, right? You have a feeling Liverpool almost feels destined to win these cups. I don't know if I'm just being biased as a Liverpool fan, but it feels like the time is now at Anfield. And there was one thing that I do want to point out is that Anfield was loud today. I wasn't there, obviously. I mean, I was watching it from my laptop. But even my wife, when a lot of those goals were going in, she's like, are they at Anfield? And I'm like, yeah, that's the new 60,000 person capacity. And it's kind of funny that us Americans, we get really hype about the Super Bowl fitting 60,000 people and being the biggest sporting events ever. And I'm just like, bro, we're going to be doing that week in, week out now with that Anfield expansion. And it just shows how lucky we are to be supporters of this type of club, being fans of such a beautiful sport and a beautiful game, being able to do things like this on a weekly basis and being a part of epic moments, Super Bowls, essentially every single weekend, right? So to talk a little bit more about the game, Virgil van Dijk, our captain, stepped up when we needed him. I read a stat that Virg hasn't lost a single header in 4 games. And I saw another stat where everyone's like, oh yeah, Saliba's having the season of his life right now. And then they pulled up Virgil's stats, and Virgil is actually outpacing him in every category that's critical to a defender. And then the comment said, just another season for Virg, which is true. There's levels to this game. And opposing supporters can hate all they want. Whether you like it or not, Virgil van Dijk will go down as one of the greatest center backs, if not the greatest center back in Premier League history. I'm sorry. That's just the truth. What about John Terry? What about Vidic? They're not on that same level for me. I'm sorry. They're just not. Verge is so good that when there's times where he actually does get beat and he does concede goals, everyone gets on top of him for just making one mistake. That's how you know you're good, when people start nitpicking every single mistake that you make. That's how I know you're really good. They never did that with John Terry. They never did that with Vidic. They never did that with Rio Ferdinand, right? It's a different era. These guys didn't come up in the same era that Verge came up in. Yeah, they played against some of the greatest players ever, right? But they didn't come up in the same era where everything you did was under the microscope, and Verge did, right? And if he adds another set of trophies under his belt, it's hard to deny him some of that acclaim and some of those accolades and some of those status, right? Gravenberch, well in. That's my guy. And I told you that he told you guys that he was going to have a really good game, and he did. Gravenberch, Maka, and Endo looked amazing in that midfield. 3 summer signings, 3 of them fitting in perfectly together, gelling, and making the magic happen in midfield today. Gravenberch had a great game. He continues to improve, but Maka was the difference. Maka is the football doctor. I was watching Anfield Agenda, and Craig made a good point that Maka could be our Luka Modric, right? That really responsible with the ball midfielder, can pick a pass, can score a screamer, can do it all. And let's hope he stays with us as long as Modric has stayed with Madrid and wins as much as Modric have. But you have to ask yourself, where do we keep him now? Now that he's proved his worth in the number 8, obviously that's his best position. 2 assists today and 1 goal in the past, I believe it's 2 or 3 games. Do we keep him in the 8 when Szoboszlai comes back? What do we do with Gravenberch if he continues to improve? Does Szoboszlai get back into the team? Does Trent get back into the team with Conor Bradley and how well he's playing right now? And another impressive showing. And he could have put his hat in for man of the match. I think if Klopp would have left him on, and I think maybe Klopp took him off in the 60th minute because maybe Trent isn't where he probably needs to be 100% ready for Sunday. I think Conor actually might start that game, and then Trent may come on a little bit later. But things look good. The kids are all right, right? The kids are all right. Kwanzaa, McConnell, Bobby Clark, they all performed well today. Clark getting a little cameo. It's going to be tough getting into this midfield. But if he can produce performances like Conor Bradley can, it's going to be hard to deny him, right? And you would think nobody's going to displace Trent from the Liverpool starting 11. And here we are talking about Conor Bradley potentially doing it. So as a young player at Liverpool, you have to be really excited. You have to be thinking, I can get into the squad. All I have to do is show up and produce, and I can become a starter in this squad. Just from the example of Conor Bradley, you'd be lit. You'd be excited to be a part of this Liverpool team. And that's what it looks like right now. Cody Gakpo shut up the haters today. There's been a lot of people talking about him, saying that he's not playing in the right positions and he's not getting the goals that he needs to. That goal, that finish, the celebration, cold as ice. Don't ever talk about my boy ever again. Cody Gakpo steps up again. He's Mr. Do-It-All. He does what he needs to do for the team. I'd rather have him in my team than somebody demanding to play in their favorite position. And more so, I'd rather have a guy that's willing to say, Coach, wherever you need me, I'm gonna perform. I'm gonna do my best. You need me to get back on track. You need me to get back in press. You need me to be a creator. You need me to be another a fourth midfielder in there for you. I'll sacrifice the assist. I'll sacrifice the goal for the well-being of the team. I'd rather have that player than the player that's pouting and complaining about being in a position that he wants to play so that he can score goals and he can get assists, right? I love that about Gakpo. And I'm happy that he got his goal today. And I love the celebration, right? I love the celebration. But what does this mean? What does this mean for the rest of the league? To see this Liverpool team fight back that's depleted. Keep in mind, we're playing teenagers now, right? Teenagers are coming on for first team players. But to see this team fight back and blow the opposition out in the second half, when the first half didn't look good, has to be a scary opposition for another team. It has to be a scary proposition for other teams in the league right now. You have to be on red alert if you're Man City. You have to be on red alert if you're Arsenal. Because when our first team comes back, you better get ready. Lock in for that final. Let's get it. You'll never walk alone. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.